Hello, my dear people. It's so good to be back here again. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate you. Thank you for your love and your support. Yes, remember that it has been really funny that a lot of things happening in the country today, and you know, both from the presidency and the government, the president himself, so many things happening at the same time. But guess what? AGF Malami should resign or be sacked. Yes, Nigerians are calling for the sack of AGF Malami. But what exactly has it done? What is his offense? And though we know some things he has done that should call for his resignation or perhaps his sack. But of course, Nigerians don't press issues for too long. They just bring it up. Nobody takes action, and that is how the cases die at the end of the day. Well, let us find out why they are saying that Malami should resign or be sacked. And who are these people, who are this group that are calling for a sack? More details, guys, but please ensure you subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, turn on the notification bell, and don't forget to like and also share our video. All right, guys, without further ado, right here it says that the National Association of Sea Dogs Pirate Confraternity has declared the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Mr. Abubakar Malami San, as unfit to remain in office after drawing false equivalence between open grazing of cattle in southern Nigeria and selling of spare parts in northern Nigeria. The NASCAPUN, Mr. Abiola Uwaje, in a statement titled Malami Unfit to Remain AGF, described this comparison as irresponsible and shameful. Yes, and why these people are calling for this, if you could remember some few days ago, the AGF actually said that if the southern governors are calling for the ban of open grazing in the southern region of the country, then they should also see it as, they should compare it to not selling spare parts to the northern part of Nigeria. And everyone was wondering, does this statement even make sense? How can you compare, cattle to that of humans? Is it that people in the north do not drive cars now that you're talking about spare parts? Or is it that everybody must eat cows? There are other animals to eat. It is not compulsory people eat cows. So you cannot even compare open grazing where cows go about, destroying people farmland, all sorts of things, and comparing it to, the southerners bringing spare parts to the north. It is crazy for anybody to think about that. And that is why this confraternity is calling out the AGF now, saying whatever reason for him to compare this to, that makes him very responsible and also a shameful thing, that he shouldn't try in any way to compare these two things together. They also continue. He said it is disheartening that Mr. Malami, the chief law officer, could make utterances capable of inciting Nigerians against one another whilst making an incompetent argument on a point of law, while arguing that selling of spare parts does not involve bloodletting like open grazing of cattle, which has been witnessed in different parts of the country. Uwaje said thousands of Nigerians have been killed and displaced from their homes and land as a result of open grazing. The statement said Section 41 of the Nigerian Constitution enshrines the freedom of movement of humans, but this cannot be translated into the unrestrained right to roam and trespass by animals and their headers or their criminal proxies. It is noteworthy to point out that as far back as April 2018, a three-man subcommittee on farmers and herders clashes of the National Economic Council (NEC), headed by Governor Dave Umahi, had recommended the ban on open grazing. The NEC had accepted the recommendation, but is yet to be enforced. As the chief law officer of the country with such a sectarian mindset, Mr. Malami, with his comments, has exposed himself as one of those frustrating the resolution of the farmers and herders crisis. He appears to be an agent of destabilization who has no place in the Federal Executive Council. His remarks are disservice to his position as Attorney General and the profession in which he has attained some prominence, and regrettably an indication that he is no longer fit for the position he presently occupies. At a time, the unity of this country has been badly shaken, and the period when impunity stalks the land, keeping Mr. Malami as the Attorney General is a mockery of justice and fairness and an assault on national cohesion. He should honorably resign his position or be fired to save the Buhari government from further embarrassment. Well, I believe that he is not thinking straight. I believe at the time he made that comment, because I keep wondering how could these two things even correlate. You're talking about humans selling spare parts. Spare parts is for the use of everybody, for cars or for bikes or for whatever uh, 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 you know, accessory or commodities that we're making use of in the country. How can you compare it to cows? And you know, these cows are actually causing a lot of problem in the southwestern region and some of the south region. You know, how we all heard how these guys went into the farmlands of people, destroyed their farmland, destroyed everything that has to do with, their farms, raped women, killed people, slitted some people's throats, different things that they did that we cannot comprehend. And yet you are telling us that it is just like stopping spare parts from coming to the north. And with the kind of position Malami occupies, it is not expected of him to just open his mouth and spill out comments that are not even reasonable. Yes, because if he continues like this, he's going to be among those who are inciting, one region against another. And that has been the case recently that is happening in the country. Everyone is taking side of their region, and it is causing more problems than expected in the country today. So really, it is important that we settle all of these differences, because if things continues like this, it is not going to mean well for the whole of the country. So that is it, my dear people. I hope that this will not cause more problems for Nigerians, and this will not be something that would bring about division, because the Southerners have been shouting, have been crying, have been weeping about this open grazing thing, about even when the Ondo state government banned it from the one of the states, that is Ondo government in the southwest. Even the headers, they still continued to open graze. They still continued with open grazing. And you know what the government did? He had to pack a lot of them out of his state, but they still moved to another southwestern state, and they are still practicing open grazing even as much. And even remember, Mieti Allah said nobody can stop Northerners from practicing open grazing, that until a ranch is produced for them or until a ranch is created for them, that they will not stop open grazing. If you want to do open grazing, you can take cows to your region. If you want to send it to other parts, add money to it, let them buy it more expensive. Since Southerners do not want open grazing in their land, take it to your land, do it there. And once you're sending it down, if they believe Southerners want to eat meat, then add more money to it and send it. If they say they don't want it in their region, good, let it stop, because all of this is causing a lot of problems, a lot of division in the country today, and it is really not necessary. The only problem is, what is the president of Nigeria saying? What has he said about all of this? He hasn't said anything. So that means he is part of those that is even encouraging, the Fulani herdsmen to continue to open graze. So, my dear people, that is it. I don't know what you have to say about this. Drop your comment, give this video a thumbs up, and turn on the notification bell. Thank you so much for staying tuned. Do have a pleasant time. Bye for now.